Today we're going to be talking about New Year's resolutions. New Year's resolutions means what you want to do in the new year and how you want to change yourself and make yourself better. And one of the things you can do is set goals for yourself. Decide what are you trying to do in this new year. But you don't want to just make any goal. Some goals might be too hard to do, or there's something too crazy about what your idea. Like, I'm going to be a rock star. That might be too difficult to do. So you want to make smart goals. And if you make smart goals, maybe you'll actually finish your goal, you'll do what you want, and you'll make your life a little bit better. We want to make smart goals because we want to actually finish them, and you don't want to quit, right? It's easy for us to get discouraged or frustrated and just quit and say, oh, I can't do this goal. I give up. But if you make smart goals, then you'll be a little bit closer to succeeding in finishing what you want to do. So today we're going to talk about SMART goals. And what are SMART goals? A SMART goal is a goal of something you want to do, but we want to make it smart. We want to make it better. The SMART stands for something. Let's say we have a goal like, I want to be more healthy. This is a really common goal for the new year, right? But it's very vague. Vague means it's not clear. We don't really know what this means. I want to be more healthy. Okay, that's a good goal, but we want to make it better. We want to make it a SMART goal. Now, what does it mean if it's a SMART goal? Well, SMART, we want to follow these ideas to make our goal better. First, S, we want our goal to be specific. I want to be more healthy is too vague. What does that mean? We want to be specific. Talk about how are you going to be more healthy and in what way will you be more healthy. Then M, measurable. To measure something means to see how big or how long it is or how much it changed. So to make something measurable means you want to be able to count that thing. Maybe keep track, make a list and check things as you go. Then A is achievable. Achievable means you can finish it. You don't want your goals to be too big and too difficult, because if they're too hard, you might just quit and give up, right? So we want your goals to be achievable, meaning you think you actually can finish it. Then R, we want our goals to be relevant. Relevant means it's connected to something. It's not just a random idea. It's connected to something in your life. If you say, oh, I want to learn how to play the violin. Okay, that might be a good idea, but why do you want to do it? What is it connected to in your life? If it's connected to nothing, maybe, oh, I just want to learn violin. You might quit because there's no reason for you to continue playing. If it's connected to something in your life, like, oh, I want to play violin for my parents. I want to make them happy. If it's connected to something in your life, if it's relevant, then you'll stick with it and you'll finish your goal, or you'll try to finish it. Okay? And then T is time bound. Bound means controlled by or limited by. So you want your goal to be limited by time. So if it's time bound, you say when you want to finish your goal. Okay? So we're going to go through SMART goals and look at some examples to see how we can use some of these ideas to take a goal that seems good and make it even better. So we want our goals to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So let's take a look at, whoops, sorry, I clicked the wrong thing. There we go. I have to remember to click. Don't use the arrows. Okay. So let's take the goal that we just talked about. It's really common for someone to think of the goal, I want to be more healthy. And that's great. That's a good idea. Everybody should try to be more healthy. But what does that mean? It's really vague. So what we can do is take that goal, like more healthy. Okay, that's too general. We want to be specific, make our goal more focused, and choose how you want to be more healthy. And you might say, I want to lose 5 kilograms. There you go. We took, I want to be more healthy. In what way do you want to be more healthy? I want to lose 5 kilograms. Okay, there you go. So that's more specific. Another idea would be to say, okay, I want to be more healthy. Okay, how? I want to run a 5K. A 5K is a kind of race. It's a race that's 5 kilometers long. And maybe you're pretty good at running and that sounds easy, but for some people that might be difficult to do. And it's a goal. And so I want to run a 5K. That's a specific goal on how to be more healthy or a way to be more healthy. Another way to make this specific might be, I want to be able to do 10 pull-ups. A pull-up is when you grab a bar and pull your body to your chin. So, hoo-ah, hoo-ah, a pull-up. And pull-ups are really difficult. And so if your goal is to do 10 pull-ups, that's pretty difficult, but you can probably do it in 1 year if you exercise and practice, right? So if we have a goal like, I want to be more healthy, that's too general. We want our goal to be specific. We want to say, I want to lose 5 kilograms. Let's say you're a student and you say, I want to do better in school. Okay, that's not bad, but it's better to be more specific and say like, okay, I want to get above a 90 on every test. That's a more specific goal. Or maybe you like music and you say, okay, I want to make more music this year. Okay, but what is more? You could say, oh, I'm going to finish 4 songs this year. Okay? So take your general idea of a goal and try to make it specific. Try to focus on one thing that you want to do. Okay? Now, S is specific. That's a way to make your goal better. To make it even better, we can take it to the next letter. So specific, and then M is measurable. Measurable means that we want to be able to see our progress using numbers, or you might check a box. So we want to see the changes. We want to count the changes or use numbers to show us that we're getting better. Like if we have the goal, I want to be more healthy. How do you count more healthy? That's too general, like we said before, and we want to measure it. To make it specific, we said, I want to lose 5 kilograms, right? But how can we measure that? You could see your progress month by month. You could say, I will lose 1 kilo per month. And so that way you can measure it. Okay, in January, I lost 1 kg. In February, I lost another kilogram. And so you can measure your progress as you go. Okay? Next, back to what we said about the 5K. You say, I want to run a 5K this year. And so you have to train. How do you train? Well, you could say, I want to run more. But again, that's too general. We want to be able to measure it. So you could say, I will run 2 kilometers twice a week. That way you can put it on your calendar and you can check days of the week as you make progress. So you want to measure that you're changing and growing and getting better. Okay? Now what about our pull-ups idea? We said 10 pull-ups in a year. Do 10 pull-ups. So to measure it, you could measure how many times you do it. So I will do pull-ups 3 times a week. So you're going to practice 3 times. Maybe you only do 1 pull-up or 2 pull-ups each day, but you're practicing and you can check each day. So to make your goal measurable, there are different ways to do it. You could say, okay, I'm going to measure my progress, like I'm going to lose 1 kg per month. Or you could check boxes on your calendar, like I'll run twice a week. Or something like we said about music, if you want to make music. How could you make that measurable? Well, okay, I want to make 1 song per month. Or if you want to write a book. Writing a whole book is really difficult, but you could say, okay, I want to write 1 chapter per month. Okay? So make it measurable so you can check as you go and see how much you're doing. Okay? So we had specific. If your goal is too general, it's not really useful. And then M, measurable. You want to be able to see that you're getting better. You could use numbers to see if you're getting close to your goal, or you could use numbers to like check a box as you finish a step. Next up is A, achievable. Achievable means you can finish it. You're able to achieve that goal. You don't want your goal to be too difficult, because if it's too difficult, you'll get frustrated and you'll quit. Okay? So what are some examples for this? Let's say you say, I want to be more healthy. And that's a good goal. And so then we made it specific about how much weight we want to lose. But we want it to be achievable. So I want to lose 5 kilograms. That's okay. That's a good goal. It's a little bit difficult, but it's not really difficult. You can actually finish it. If you say, I want to lose 50 kilograms, that's a very, very bold. Maybe for me, that would be way too much. I might die. But if somebody tries to lose 50 kilograms, are they going to finish that in a year? Maybe if they work really, really hard, but maybe they'll just give up because, I only lost 2 kilograms. I'm not even close to 50. So, I'm terrible. They'll get disappointed and give up on themselves, right? Another might be like we said, running a 5K is a good idea for a running goal because it's a little bit far, but not too far. I want to run a 5K is a good goal because it's achievable. A bad goal might be, I want to run a marathon. Well, if you already are a runner, this might be a good goal for you. But if you don't run very often, saying, I want to run a marathon is very difficult. I would never be able to do that. I would probably die on the road. Too tired. So I want to run a marathon. Maybe it's too hard. If it were me, I would give up. I'd quit. But I want to run a 5K. Okay, that might happen. You can actually achieve that. You can actually finish it. Now, what about pull-ups? We said about making it measurable and trying to follow a schedule so you can check a box. So we said, I will do pull-ups 3 times a week. This is achievable. You can do it 3 times a week. It might be difficult to find time 3 days a week, but you could do it. If you say, I will do pull-ups every day, that I think is too difficult, because every day, that means if you skip 1 day, that means you failed. Oh my gosh, that's too harsh. You need 1 day so you can rest, right? Or maybe you go to your friend's birthday party and you go, oh no, I didn't do pull-ups, I failed. No, it's okay to go to your friend's birthday party. So you don't want to set your goals to be every day or something like that. Don't make it too strict, because if you miss a day, then you'll fail. You don't want to do that. So make your goals achievable. So don't make it too big. Don't make it too difficult. And make sure you give yourself time to rest, right? Because everyone needs a day off sometimes. So for you, if you're studying English, don't say, oh, I'm going to be the best English speaker in the world. That would be awesome, but I don't know if that's achievable. I'm not the best English speaker in the world, not even close. And then if you say, oh, I'm going to study English for an hour every day. Okay, maybe, but that's pretty difficult. Every day, are you sure? You don't want to rest one time? So make sure your goals are achievable. You think you can actually finish them. And that way, when you do finish it, you'll feel good. And then if you want, you could make a new goal, right? Okay. After achievable, we have specific. You want it to be focused on one thing. Measurable. You want to be able to see if you're making progress. Achievable. You don't want it to be too hard because you'll give up. You want it to be something you can actually finish. So you do it and you feel good. R is relevant. Relevant means you want it to be connected to your life somehow. It's not something random. So relevant and random are opposites, kind of. So you want it to be something that matters to you. For what we were talking about, being healthy, that's right away, that's relevant. It's important for your life and it's connected to your life because we need to stay healthy to live. So everybody wants to stay healthy, right? But let's look at some examples of good goals and then ones that are not relevant. Some maybe are cool, but they're not relevant to your life. So if you have a goal like, I want to learn to drive, that's great. That's a good goal because maybe you need to drive a car to go on a trip with your family or something like that. But if you say, I want to learn to drive a Formula One car, is that relevant to your life? It's a cool goal, but it's not really connected to real life. And so if it's not relevant, if it's not connected to your life, what's going to happen? Well, you're going to quit, right? So you want to think of a way that your goal connects to your real life. Oh, I want to drive my grandma to the doctor. And so I want to learn to drive. Give yourself a reason why you want to finish your goal. Okay? Here's another example. We said 5K. I want to run a 5K to be healthy. So connect it to your life. Why do you want to run this 5K? I just want to be more healthy. Why is that important? Because we want to stay healthy so we have good lives, right? But if we're talking about running a 5K and you say, I want to set the world record in the 5K, there are two problems with this. Number one, it's not achievable, probably. It would be super hard to set the world record. The other problem is that it's not relevant. Why do you need to set the world record? Like, does that connect to your life in some way? Will it make you better at work, or will it do something for your family or friends? Probably not. So it's not connected to your life too. So it's not a good goal. But if you say, I want to run a 5K to be more healthy, that's great. That is connected to your life. One more example. You might have a goal like, I want to learn to code to help me at my job. So your goal is, I want to learn to code. Maybe you want to learn C++ or Python, something like that. And you want to learn how to code. That's great, but you want to make it relevant. So for me, I don't need to code for my job, so I don't finish that goal. I kind of want to learn to code, but it's not relevant to my life, so I kind of stopped. But if it helps you with your job, that's a connection, and then maybe you can finish it. So making it relevant can help you stay focused. So I want to learn to code to help me at my job. You connect it to work, you know it's going to help you, and so you'll stick to it. But a goal that's not relevant, if you have a cool idea and you say, hey, I want to learn to create PS5 games. Again, that's really cool. But is it relevant? Probably not. It doesn't connect to your life. So will you stay focused on making PS5 games if there's no connection to your job or to your family or to your friends? You'll probably eventually give up. So relevant, the R, is an important thing because we want to connect these goals to our lives. And if it's important to you or your family or friends, then you'll actually finish the goal, right? So for you guys, you could think about, okay, why do I want to study English? And you want to think of a way that it's relevant to your life. Maybe, I want to study English because it helps me at work, because I can talk to clients. That's a connection, and you will actually want to continue studying. Or maybe you say, I really like American movies. I want to understand what they're saying. That's something important to you. It's relevant to your life, so you will want to keep studying. Or maybe you have a friend like me, and you say, Kyle speaks English. I want to be able to speak English with Kyle. And so that's a connection. You feel like you want to finish your goal for a purpose. And so you will continue working on it and actually finish it. So making your goals relevant is really important. Next is the T. So we have, for our SMART goals, they are specific. They're focused on one thing, not too general. M, they're measurable. We can see how much you're progressing, and every week we check a box. A, achievable. You can actually finish it. You're not going to go, this is too hard, and then you quit. We don't want that. Then R, relevant. We want it connected to your life so you actually care about what you're trying to do. Last is T, time bound. Like I said before, the word bound is like controlled. So we want this controlled by time, or give yourself a time limit. Okay? And that will help you to actually finish your goal. If you just say, I want to make more music. Okay, that's great, but it's too general. So let's make it more specific. I want to write a song. Okay, cool. When? it doesn't matter. I just want to write a song sometime. If you just say sometime, you might never do it, right? So if you make it time bound and you say, I'm going to write a song before March. So I have 2 months to finish one song. If you give yourself a time limit, you might actually finish it. Okay? So let's look at some examples of making something time bound. We were talking about getting healthy. You want to give yourself a time limit so you actually focus on it and try to finish your goal. If you just say, whenever is fine, you might never do it. We were talking about getting healthy. I will lose 5 kilograms before July 1st. So set a time limit, give yourself 6 months to try to finish this goal. And that way you can actually start working towards it. Then we said about 5K. You just said, I want to run a 5K. That's a good goal. It's specific, it's achievable. But if you just say someday, it might never happen. So you might choose a race and say, I will sign up for a 5K on September 18th. So you give yourself a specific time to complete your goal. And that way you can train and exercise to get ready for September 18th. And if you sign up now, then you definitely can't give up on your goal. You can't quit, right? And then another would be for our pull-up idea. Okay, doing 10 pull-ups is kind of hard, so we want to do it a little bit at a time. So you might say, okay, I said I want to do 10 pull-ups, but I can't do that right away. So I'll give myself a short goal halfway. I will be able to do 5 pull-ups by July and 10 pull-ups by the end of the year. So your goal is 10. But you could say in July or by July, you want to be able to do 5 pull-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that will show that you're making progress, right? And then that's halfway. And then you can be, okay, I finished at my time limit. I finished before July. And then you have 6 more months to get stronger so you can do 10 pull-ups, okay? So if you make your goal time-bound, you give yourself time limits for certain things, that will help you push yourself to focus and say, okay, I need to finish before that time. And then you might actually reach your final goal of what you want to do. Okay? So, all of those things, making your goals specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound are ways for you to make a good goal, make a goal that you actually can do, and give you ways to stay focused on your goal and try to get there. So, using these ideas of making a SMART goal is a great way to get to completing your New Year's resolutions, right? So think about your New Year's resolutions and what you've thought of for this year. What do you want to do? Do you want to be more healthy? Well, what can we do? Be more specific, make it measurable, and then make it achievable and relevant and time-bound. Give yourself a time limit. Or maybe you want to get stronger. You want to go to the gym. Well, okay, specific. Okay, I want to have stronger arms. Okay, make it measurable. I want to lift 5 pounds more every month. Okay, achievable. At the end of the year, I want to be able to bench press 150 pounds. Okay, 150 is not too bad. If you said 300, that would be too crazy. Relevant. I want to look good when I go to the beach, so I need big muscles. And time bound. It's like, okay, I need to be stronger before May so I can go to the beach. That's what a lot of people do. They try to get a beach body before they go out for summer. Or what else could you do? Let's say you're learning English. You say, I want my English to be better. Okay, who doesn't? That's too general, too vague, right? So how can we make it a SMART goal? Specific. You could say, okay, I want to read one English novel this year. Okay, that's tricky, but you can do it. A, achievable. Measurable. S is S specific. I'll read a novel. M, measurable. How could you measure that? You could say, okay, I want to read one chapter each month. Okay, so every month you have one thing you can measure. You say, okay, I'm going to read this much each month. Or you could get smaller and say, okay, I'm going to read 10 pages each week. Something like that. Then A, achievable. Do you think you can actually finish a novel in 1 year? Maybe. Let's go back so you can see the words. So specific, read a novel. Measurable, maybe 1 chapter a month or 10 pages a week. Okay? Now, is that achievable? Well, you have to think about it. If you think so, go for it. If it's too big, you can make your goal smaller. Okay, I can't do a whole novel this year, but I can read 2 short stories. So you can always change your goal, make it more achievable, something you can actually finish. And then relevant. Think about why you want to study English. Why do you want to get better? Well, okay, I want to be able to talk to my clients at work. Okay. Now, if you are reading a novel to get better at speaking to your clients at work, maybe you want to choose a novel about business. Don't choose a fantasy book or something. Try to make it connected to what you really want to do. And then last is time bound. If you're trying to improve your English, give yourself a time limit. Like, okay, I'm going to make sure I finish 2 pages every 2 days. Okay? Or I'm going to finish chapter 1 by the end of January. Something like that. Give yourself a time limit. So, all of these things, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time bound. These are ways to control your goals so they're not too difficult, not too crazy, not too vague, not too general, and also to help you try to actually finish what you want to do. So, I hope you found this interesting and helpful, and I hope you can try to use some of these ideas to help you with your New Year's resolutions. Maybe you can make your ideas more focused and you can actually finish what you want to do. So I would like to know something about you. I want to know, what is your New Year's resolution? So in the comments, I want you to write your New Year's resolution and then try to use our SMART goals to make your New Year's resolution better. You might say, oh, I want to do well at school. That's pretty good, but use SMART to make it better. How can you make it specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound? Okay? And if you can do that with your goals and help you get focused, you can actually finish your goals and make your life better, make everything better. But my goal for this year is to try to be a little more healthy. I'm not really unhealthy, but I want to try to exercise more. Sometimes I just I walk a lot, but I don't do a lot of other exercise. So my goal is to try to exercise maybe 4 or 5 days a week. So I want to just not go to the gym. I'm not doing anything crazy, but do some exercise, a little bit of exercise, maybe 4 or 5 times a week. And that way I'll slowly get more healthy, and I think it's achievable. So let's take my exercise goal and make it a SMART goal. So to make it specific, okay, I want to exercise more. That's very general. What I'm going to do to make it specific, I'm going to use a kettlebell. A kettlebell is, well, I'll show you. Oh, it's so heavy. This is a kettlebell. So to make my goal specific is I'm going to lift my kettlebell maybe 4 or 5 days a week and try to do that. And then another specific thing is I'm going to try to do planks 4 or 5 days a week. A plank is when you get on the ground, you put your hands or your elbows on the floor, and you just hold your body up. And it's good for your core, like your abs, your stomach muscles. So my specific goal is I want to do kettlebell and planks 4 or 5 days a week. That's my goal. I'm hoping to do that. Then measurable. Is it measurable? Well, yeah. If I say 4 or 5 days a week, I check a box each day I do it. And so I can make sure I actually follow it and make progress. Achievable. Can I actually finish this? I think so. So, like I said, if you say every day, that's too difficult. You'll quit. Maybe on a Sunday you're feeling lazy. Oh, I didn't do my exercise on Sunday. And so because I said I'm going to do it every day this year, that means I already failed, so I quit. No, you don't want that. So if I say 4 or 5 days a week, I can have 2 or 3 days where I take a rest. Maybe I do a little more. That would be good. But if I set it at a medium goal, then I'll feel okay. Okay, I did 3 days. I did 4 days a week. I don't feel too bad. If I do 6 days a week, I feel extra good. Then relevant. Is this connected to my life? Well, yeah. Everyone's getting older. I'm getting older. And to stay healthy as you get older, you want to do exercise. And so if you build some muscle and build your core muscles, that'll keep you healthy for longer. So that's why it's relevant for me. Time bound. That's one problem with my goal. I don't really have a time limit for it. So how could I do that? Maybe I could say I'm going to get a bigger kettlebell in July. So I need to be able to do a lot of work with this one in 6 months, something like that. So that's my SMART goal. So I hope you learned something new today. I hope this was useful. And I hope you have a wonderful January. So let me know what your New Year's resolutions are and how you're going to make it a SMART goal. Okay? So let's stop here and I'll see you next time. So thank you, everyone. Have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.